St. Mary's High School had been abandoned for over a decade, its windows shattered, walls crumbling, and hallways swallowed by dust and decay. In 2022, 3 urban explorers, armed with nothing but flashlights and a shaky handheld camera, decided to document their exploration. As they stepped inside, the air felt heavy, and a faint echo of children's laughter seemed to ripple through the halls. Impossible, they thought, brushing it off as the wind. The explorers wandered deeper, capturing footage of forgotten classrooms still adorned with dusty desks and peeling chalkboards. But when they reached the gymnasium, things took a darker turn. Their flashlights flickered as if struggling against some unseen force. Through the viewfinder, one of them caught a glimpse of a child standing at the far end of the gym, head bowed, hair covering their face. But when the flashlight beam swept across the spot, it was empty. Nervous laughter broke the tension, but the atmosphere grew colder. They pressed on, reaching the basement, where legends spoke of a fire that claimed the lives of several students. The footage captured faint whispers, growing louder as they neared the boiler room. Suddenly, the camera went dark, the audio distorted with static and faint screams. When the footage resumed, it was being carried, jerkily, as if in someone else's hands. The explorers were nowhere to be seen. The final frame showed the gymnasium again, now filled with shadowy figures, all watching the camera before it abruptly cut out. None of the 3 were ever seen again, but their footage was found neatly placed at the school's entrance a week later. Story 2: The Detention Room. Northwood Elementary had been shut down since 1997 after a series of mysterious disappearances. Locals whispered about Room 104, the detention room, where troublemakers were sent but rarely seen leaving. In 2019, a group of thrill-seekers entered the abandoned school, determined to spend the night documenting their experience. The first few hours were uneventful. Graffiti-covered walls, broken glass, and overturned desks littered the space. But when midnight struck, the group's camera caught movement in the hallway, a door slamming shut with violent force. Room 104. The explorers hesitated but pushed forward, their footsteps echoing unnaturally loud in the silence. They reached the door, its handle icy cold to the touch. The camera shook as they pushed it open, revealing a perfectly preserved classroom. Desks were neatly arranged, chalk untouched on the blackboard, and the smell of chalk dust lingered thick in the air. The door slammed shut behind them, and the temperature plummeted. The explorers scrambled to open the door, but it wouldn't budge. The lights flickered and shadows crept along the walls, whispering their names. Their footage shows the camera dropping to the floor, capturing their frantic attempts to escape. In the last moments, a child's voice whispers, "Detention is forever," before the screen cuts to black. Authorities found the camera outside the school entrance weeks later, but there was no sign of the explorers, except for their names, scratched onto the desks inside Room 104. Story 3: The Bell Tower at Hawthorn Academy. Hawthorn Academy had stood abandoned since the late 80s, its bell tower looming like a sentinel over the decaying structure. Rumors of a student who leapt from the tower after being bullied had kept locals away for years. In 2021, 2 amateur filmmakers dared each other to climb the bell tower and film their experience. The footage begins with laughter and bravado as they navigate the crumbling staircases, graffiti-covered walls, and collapsed ceilings. But as they approached the tower, their laughter faded. The air grew colder, and footsteps echoed behind them, even though no one else was there. They reached the top, shining their flashlights across the dusty wooden floor. That's when the bell, long rusted and silent, began to toll. The sound was deafening, shaking the floor beneath their feet. Panicking, they rushed back to the stairwell, only to find it blocked by debris that hadn't been there moments before. The camera captured the bell continuing to toll, even as they screamed for help. One of them aimed the camera back at the tower entrance, and there she stood. A girl in an old-fashioned school uniform, her face obscured by shadow, staring directly at them. The footage ends abruptly with the camera toppling down the stairs. Its final image, a blurry shot of the girl standing at the edge of the tower, watching. Local authorities found the camera shattered at the building's entrance the next morning. Neither filmmaker was ever seen again, but sometimes, late at night, the bell at Hawthorn Academy is heard ringing, echoing across the empty town.